Hi, this is Farel. Welcome to my video and YouTube channel and page 16 of Robot Todd. This is some examples of I'm fixing this fox drawing there on the left and also doing like a one-point perspective. So first here I'm just sort of filling in the background from last video. I ended up inking the main characters in the foreground, which is the way I've been doing all these pages, and doing kind of tighter pencils for the backgrounds and just watercoloring on top of that. So these backgrounds took me a little longer than normal because they're not just the typical landscapes of this world, which are just mostly just kind of weird, sort of crazy cat abstract, or I guess semi-abstract landscapes. This had a specific idea in mind of continuing this. You can see the page on the left there, page 15, of this like kind of abandoned city structure. And I wanted it to feel kind of like, I mean, he's in a cave, and I wanted these hallways that he was walking through to feel kind of cave-like. So here you can see I'm doing this one-point perspective where it's I just picked a spot on the horizon line, just kind of where your eye falls naturally. I chose the center of the panel, and it's the spot at the center of the panel, and I had all the lines converging, like you can see where the ceiling hits the walls, just kind of all converge on that one point you look at. And I used just like a piece of Bristol paper as a straight edge to get the lines, semi-straight there. And you can see too in that third panel how I'd already kind of touched up the fox, the line. I just made like a new line over kind of where I wanted it to go, because the drawing didn't look right to me. So I just kind of worked the background. I darkened the background to sort of cover up, obscure the old line in the background. Here I'm just kind of adding detail too to this, and I just making sure that all the lines that are receding all kind of go to that point, that little imaginary spot on the horizon, and kind of lessening the degree of detail as you recede, and keeping my pencil lines a little lighter as they go towards the back. But yeah, you can kind of see again the third panel how I when I'm not covering it up with a piece of paper. Right here. So you can see the old line on top that I made for him, and the touch-ups and the fixes that I did with pen and pencil to cover it up. And then I covered up the rest in paint, you'll see a little later. And so here in the story, we have Robot Todd walking through these halls, and he's following this fox into this room where there's these monitors, these like video monitors, which is a theme that kind of comes up in my work a lot, which I guess probably has to do with me watching a lot of television growing up and in my adult life as well. Just watching screens, and all of us, looking at screens. But I wanted the four monitors to kind of mimic the panels, the four panels, because like this whole comic is a 4-panel grid. So I thought it'd be kind of fun because I was originally thinking like, oh, they're going to be globes or something like that. But then I just like, I thought like, oh, it'd be nice for the panels that he's looking at to sort of mimic the panels in the comic book. So here I'm going in with paints, and I'm using a little bit of bleed-proof white mixed with the watercolors. And this the bleed-proof white is Dr. Martin's, and the watercolors are whole bean watercolors, and they're just like a watercolor set that a friend gave me. I'm using a little porcelain plate to mix the colors, and here I'm laying in just a background like I think it's just black, the color black, sort of diluted, maybe a little bit of blue in there. And you'll see later, because from the distance, the city has a blue tint to it. So you'll see later, I add a bunch of blue on top. But right now, when I'm laying in this background, that looked kind of dark to me. But when I was done with all the rest of the colors, it looked a little light and sterile and wasn't really what I was envisioning for what this area looked like. See, right now, I was like pretty stoked about the start of this, and but then I just went in and colored the fox and Robot Todd, and once I was done with all the little, getting everything kind of to like the level of detail with color, I was like fairly happy with. I looked at it and was like, I'm not crazy about the way this looks, like just the feel of it. I mean, I liked the way I thought it looked pretty good, but I was just like, this doesn't kind of quite feel right. So then I go in later and add like a blue tone over everything. But yeah, I was fixing this fox here in the third panel. I don't know if you can see like I use, like I said, I used a little bit of bleed proof white, and it's almost like it's like an opaque, and I have like a gouache set there too. You can see me using on the right, and yeah, I added like some gray and some white from that as well, and mixed with the watercolor to get an opaque quality over the line, so you can see now that you just see like the fox and it's like barely visible, and here's like a zoom in of it, so you can't really see like the original line that well. I mean, you can if you're like looking for it, but once it's printed and stuff, I mean, I don't think anyone will notice just reading it. So yeah, that's sort of like the finished stage that I thought was nearly finished. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm done with this page pretty much. And I had the monitors, everything was like locked in. I was like, okay, this is good to go. And then I just kind of kept staring at it and was like, I think I need to do something else here. So I'm adding a little bit of details, but yeah, at this point I still haven't added the blue color. I'm just sort of touching up areas that don't look quite finished to me. Adding highlight. I think I put like some around all the white area, any spot that was white on there. I wanted to kind of dull out and make it not look like be distracting from the eye. Like I felt like, if you kind of look away from the paper and then look back, and the first thing you see that kind of pops out to you, if it's not like something you want to pop out, you should, add some color to it or something to it to make it less vibrant, and a lot of times it's just the areas that I haven't fully colored yet do that. So yeah, so there's like pretty much the point where I was like, okay, I guess I'm done with this page now. I'll move on to the next one. Everything's colored in. I don't have any white areas except for like the Robot Todd areas, but what I did is I got some Dr. P.H. Martin's. I have this like vibrant concentrated watercolor. I put a link in the description, so if you look on the description of this video, you can see the stuff that I used. But I guess here I'm still adding little touch-ups, little details to the I guess I'm putting some yellow glow around the lights, which I kind of wasn't happy with later when I used the vibrant watercolor. So yeah, here you go. So what I did is I just put a couple of drops of that concentrated watercolor. You can see the bottle there on the right, into like a little jar, and then I filled it about half full of water. And then even then I had to dull it out a little bit with another water. I kept dipping my brush into, you can see it's kind of filling up there, dipping into just some clear water and getting it to the right the right glow, sort of like that television set blue glow. And I wanted to, yeah, like I said, I wanted to feel sort of like a cave. So you can see him in the first panel entering that blue area and then going in the hallways. And I just thought it kind of gave it a nice, I don't know, just kind of give it a nice feel, like a nice finished atmosphere to the whole page, like adding this blue in there. And here I'm like added a little bit of that bleed proof white in with the vibrant watercolor to get that this monitors to get to be like an even blue. And that's the finish. There you go. It's pretty much the way it's done. And here's the scan of it. I went ahead and scanned the page this time and put that up. So yeah, that's the video for this time. Thanks for watching this. I have a Patreon if you want to check that out, Farel Dal, and I have an Instagram too, Farel Dal as well. And yeah, I'll see you soon.